So if you are thinking that you are feeling like you're stuck, you're feeling overwhelmed, you don't like where you're currently at with your health and fitness, and you would like to make a change, change is scary. And taking that first step and committing to something or committing to yourself is always the hardest. And it's the scariest step because we have to do something. We have to admit to ourselves that maybe we are wanting to change. But sometimes what I think is more scary is not staying the same, and not making any changes and not doing anything different. So we want to make sure that you are being scared. Are you being scared? And is that holding you back from actually really achieving what you want to achieve? So there is a little story that I love, and it really, really made me think. And it's the story of the neighbor and a dog. So you may have heard me say this before, but there is a man and he moves into a new neighborhood. And as he moves in, he hears the dog across the road, and the dog is barking and barking and barking. And he gives it a week or so because he's not sure he's new to the neighborhood. He gives it a week or so and the dog keeps barking and barking, and it's starting to get really annoying because it's barking, all the time. And eventually he starts to get a bit fed up of it. So he goes across the road and introduces himself to his neighbor. Hi, I've just moved here. I'm new to the neighborhood. Is this your dog barking? And the neighbor's like, yes, it is. And he's like, and then the neighbor says, the dog is sitting on a nail and that's why he's barking. And so then the person's like, oh my God, is he okay? Why don't you move him? And why don't you move him? He's barking because he's obviously in pain. And but the neighbor's like, no, it's not bad enough yet for him to move. And so don't be that dog. Don't keep sitting in that same position or staying in the same place you are now, where there's so much more potential out there for you. And if you're in a position where you feel like you want to make a change, but you're scared to, or it is a big step to take that next step. It's scary to make a start. It's scary to have to commit to maybe exercising more, maybe walking more, maybe looking at your food, but it is so worth it. Once you take that step forward, you will not want to look back. You will be so glad that you are not still sitting on that now, because how painful does it have to be, or how bad does it have to be before you actually do something about it? And I'm a big believer in looking at things that we can control and things we can't control. And your health and wellness are things that you have control over, and you can do something about them today. So make a commitment to yourself. How much are you willing to commit to yourself to do something different, to improve your health, to increase your energy, to feel better about yourself? How much are you willing to commit to doing that? Sometimes if you have set your goals for the start of the year, you maybe set some goals and maybe you actually haven't done anything about it yet, I want you to think about why you haven't done anything else. We get scared, and if we don't start, then we don't have to fail. And we don't have to risk the chance of not going through or not actually achieving what we want to achieve. Is that what you are doing in your head? Are you staying the same because you're too scared to take that next step forward? Because, the other thing is that if we look back in a year's time, you're going to be in exactly the same spot, that you are now. And, our brain is wired to keep us safe. So it wants to keep us safe, but what is safe for us isn't necessarily the best thing for us. What is safe in our brain? The brain just goes for what is familiar. So, taking that next step, stepping out of the comfort zone is a scary step, but just think about it. If you've set New Year's resolutions and you haven't actually done anything about it, why? Why do you think you've done that? And have a good think. And are you just trying to keep yourself safe, or not risking? Because I've done it myself, I've been there, not risking taking that next step forward because you don't want to risk failing, or you don't want to risk setting yourself up or committing to something because you might not actually follow it through.